Because can you imagine what life will be like if we get to that point and wake up some morning and we all of a sudden don't have the money to pay for our military, we don't have money to pay for Social Security or Medicare or programs that people are reliant on? The Democrats have us right now, the far-left liberals, the Harry Reids of the world, have us on a course for planned bankruptcy. Aren't they? They're just marvelous money managers, aren't they? Absolutely marvelous. I think that's why you gave them a pink slip in November. Maybe they need another pink slip in 2012. Maybe we need to send a change of address form to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Okay, now I can see you're excited. We're serious. You bet you're serious. How many of you came here by a bus today? How many of you have ever been involved in politics before, let's say, 2 years ago? Yeah. How many of you are new to this? Yeah. You know what that represents? United States Congress, did you see what these people just said to you? They said, we're here. We have Democrats among us. We have independents among us. We have libertarians. We have conservatives. We have Republicans. We have people who aren't political. Because what are we? We are reasonable, fair-minded people who are saying, get your act together, be practical, be principled, be reform-minded, and do these 3 things. Don't tax us any more. We're taxed enough already. The second thing we want them to know, don't spend more money than what you're taking in. The third thing that we want them to know, act within the limits that the Constitution put on you. Gee, that's a radical, scary, extremist agenda. I think that's called reasonable, fair-minded Americans who have re-embraced the spirit of 1776. That's why we're here today, because we know that the government can't continue with $1.65 trillion deficits and think that they can be in business very long. Now, I told you when I started, before the microphone turned off, that I am 55 years old today, and I want you also to know that I really am the old woman that lives in the shoe. My husband and I will celebrate our 33rd wedding anniversary this year. And we have 5 biological children, and we've been privileged to raise 23 foster children in our home. So let me tell you, that's a lot of pasta for 28 kids over the years. And one thing we know how to do is stretch $1 in our house. Any of you know how to do that? In our family, we clip coupons. We go to consignment stores. We do whatever it takes to make the family work and run. And sometimes that means that we've got to cut our spending in the family, especially because, consider this, the day before President Obama took office, the price of gasoline was $1.83 a gallon. It has more than doubled under his watch. Now let me ask you, if we were issuing a report card right now to President Obama on energy policy, how many of you would vote for an A? How many of you would vote for an F? How many of you think that when President Obama went to Brazil and he told the Brazilians that they need to get aggressive about drilling for oil in Brazil so that we can become Brazil's best customers, and then he went on to give Brazil a $2 billion loan with your money so that Brazil can drill for more oil? How many of you think the president should have said, drill, baby, drill in America rather than Brazil? Drill, baby, drill. Let me tell you this. This is great news. This year, the Congressional Research Service issued a report that again says the United States is the #1 nation in the world with energy reserves. If you take all of America's source of energy and you convert it to barrels of oil equivalent, we are #1 in the world. That's great news. We have more energy in the United States than China, Canada, and Saudi Arabia combined. That doesn't even include our shale oil deposits. We have the answer to our solution right here in the United States. That's just one small area. And yet, the Brain Trust over here has decided they know more than you do, like in the area of what light bulb you should put in your house. Now let me ask you, do you need their help when you go to the hardware store to buy light bulbs? No! Okay, no, this is going to be hard, and you really have to be honest. You have to examine yourself. Are you capable? Can you hear me now? Okay. Are you capable of picking out your own light bulb? Oh, I thought as much. This is an extremely intelligent crowd. In addition to being very good looking, and you also seem to be very well tempered and very well mannered. I want to hang with you. That's right. You're the extremist that I like to hang with. Put it that way. We know that we're coming to a decision at the end of this week. We also know that Harry Reid has a plan, Chuck Schumer has a plan, Howard Dean has a plan, and it appears that the President of the United States has a plan, and it appears that they've decided that they're going to take both feet and be stuck in the mud and not negotiate one tiddlywink, because their goal, as they've already stated, is to shut the government down. That's their stated goal. And you know what they want to do? They want to blame it on you. They want to say that it's your fault. We need to make one thing perfectly clear today. We want to be perfectly clear. There is no such thing as an actual government shutdown. There isn't, because we know that Social Security checks will continue to go out, the military will continue to go forward, and we also know that there will be a very large number of government employees that will stay on the job. Some will be furloughed, but they will stay on the job. So let's just be clear, first of all, it is a government slowdown. There is no such thing as a shutdown. So let's be clear about that first. Let's also be clear that this game cannot continue to go forward where, like last week, they borrowed $99 billion according to the Federal Times. That can't go on. Let me just give you one picture of what America's future could look like in the not too distant future. Last night, the country of Portugal had to borrow money to run their government for another 6 months. They had to borrow money at over 5% rate of interest. That's 35 times more than what the United States pays to borrow. Why do I tell you that? Because when you have such huge debt and such huge entitlement obligations that it's virtually impossible to pay them, then your borrowers extract a very high price. If that happens to the United States, where we literally today borrow 40 to 41 cents of every dollar that we spend, we're in trouble real fast. Real fast. And so we know what we have to do. We have to cut the spending now, and after that, that comes first. After that, we have to reduce taxes on the job creators in this country. So we cut the taxes. I'm a former federal tax lawyer, and also my husband and I have started our own business. We have 2 clinics, and they're in 2 locations. We know what it is to create a job. We know a profit. The guys behind me think that as long as you're a business and your name ends with comma, INC period, that you've just got money coming out of your pockets. I'm telling you, there's none left. For those of us who are job creators, there's none left. It's very hard. You try to make a profit, Mr. Obama. I don't think you've ever done that before. For those of us who have tried and who have turned a profit and who understand that profits aren't evil, that's called wealth creation. We like it. You can't run a government without it. We know that we can't do what we're doing now. So all of the people behind us thought, a lot of people in the media thought after the last election, you were going to go home, take a sleeping pill, check out, hit the beach. Not that those aren't good things, but you decided that you cared more about your country, and you decided you will not be ignored, like this lady's sign, and you decided that you love your kids, and you love this country more than you love your own convenience. And I'm here to thank you and applaud you that you care enough about this country, that you boarded buses, you came down here or up here or from the side, because we are one today. We are one. We are one, standing together for resuming fiscal sanity in the United States. So I'm here to say